Hello, Alexandra. Delighted to be chatting with you again. Joined with Steve this time.
Hi,
Hello,
Aleksandra.
I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me. Hello.
Hello. How are you? How's
Hi.
life? Yeah, how's life where you are? Poland?
Thank you so much. It's all right. I mean, we're facing some difficult times, but everybody's doing the best they can. So everything is well. Hopefully, it will be better.
Yeah.
And yeah, yes, I'm very happy that I'm here again with both of you. Thank you so much for having me.
You've got a lot of refugees come over the border, haven't you, into Poland? Over 2 million now. I mean, I must be awful to have for those to come over and have to put up with all this. Have you got any near you? Is there any around your area?
Oh, I mean, we work together with university and we organize ourselves so that we are trying to help those persons who need everything. And actually, everything is needed, especially the basic things connected with home life, domestic life, and of course, for me, it's an unprecedented situation. When I think about, I can't even think how it must feel, but the feeling of having to leave your home and just going somewhere and not even knowing if you go back. And the last time we were chatting, I didn't really believe that this would happen. But what I've learned throughout these several weeks is that basically history runs in circles, even though literature teachers would like to believe that things change. But yeah. So we are just hoping that everything will be okay, and yes, we hope that the refugees who arrive in Poland will at least feel peaceful, safe, but of course, I don't even realize what they feel. I don't think any of us can realize what they feel inside right now.
That's awful. Awful, really awful.
Yeah, it's awful. Yeah.
On a brighter note, you've written your Bunky novel, but apart from writing, you teach literature at the Maria Curie University. What made you specialize in the Victorian literature?
Thank you so much. Well, first of all, I started reading for pleasure, which was even before going to university. And the first novel I read for pleasure as a teenager was Wilkie Collins's *The Woman in White*, and I had to read the entire novel with a dictionary because I wasn't that fluent in English, but it was my desire to be because I really loved the language. I love languages, and actually, after reading this novel, I realized what an elegant language it is, what an elegant novel it is. And I just thought I need to continue this path. And then I discovered other writers. I also became interested in at university, I became interested in the Victorian female characters. And this passion, I combined it with my love for literature. And here I am studying Victorian fiction, even though this semester I'm teaching 17th and 18th century novel, but Victorian fiction is my top subject to discuss, to carry out my research. And yes.
Amazing that you're doing Victorian literature over in Poland. Do all those students that you teach it to, do you have any trouble getting people to come into those type classes? Are they really interested in it? Is there many that are interested?
Thank you so much. I honestly, I think they are, but the thing is they have to start. Like, first of all, when they think about the course and they think about the books they have to read, of course, we know that we live in very hectic times, and I have this impression that the major problem is with us to concentrate, and being faced with a Victorian novel can be quite a challenge. But then during the course, when we are diving into these topics, the students find a lot of pleasure in it. And actually, I'm like happily surprised how they enjoy reading Victorian fiction. I mean, when they start, because starting is the most difficult step, I guess, especially nowadays, because everything is hectic. We have very easy access to information, internet. Everything has to be done fast, supposedly. And having this Victorian novel, it's not only a pleasure, but also, I would say, a kind of therapy, because you have to sit down and concentrate, and really, you will develop yourself and calm down a part of yourself while reading Victorian fiction. That's why I think it's so relevant nowadays. And students love it, but they have to start.
Wow.
And you mentioned Wilkie Collins' Woman in White. This is one of the first detective novels.
Oh, yeah.
Who else, who amongst the other writers are your favourites? Or can you tell us a bit about The Woman in White, for those who've never read it or never heard of it?
Oh, yes, The Woman in White. Thank you so much. So I have The Woman in White with me. Yeah, it's my first novel with the notes. Yeah, still with the notes. So Wilkie Collins' The Woman in White is a wonderful book. Okay, it can be read as a detective fiction, as this kind of mystery novel, but not only, because I specialize in the female characters. I always try to look at novels through the prism of female characters. And of course, The Woman in White, the eponymous character, is of a great interest to me. So I read this novel as quite a struggle between social values and moral values. And I often hear discussions about Victorian values, which are important, huge discussions, and there we have these social values. And what's interesting about Victorian novels and writers such as Wilkie Collins is that he implements this hesitation between the traditional social values of the era and moral values. So The Woman in White is, for me, this embodiment of moral values, her own moral values, because she's an outsider. She's a very modern figure. She is such an original character in terms of from her personality onto her dressing style. And of course, this novel discusses this mystery of the woman in white. There's a male character, there's another lady, and of course, these two women that appear in the novel can be taken understood in a literal sense, but not only. They can also epitomize this duality of the Victorian era, duality of personality, of what it means to be a part of a member of a society, what it means to be a woman. So it's quite a social debate. It's a social discussion. And of course, those who will enjoy detective fiction will be greatly surprised, positively surprised, but also those who would like to understand how Victorian society functions and what are these dualities within the society will be also happy to reach for this.
Okay. Wow. That's a hugely thick novel, that.
It is. Yeah, I was thinking that as well. Yeah,
size of it.
Yeah.
You taught yourself to read English, but how many languages do you speak, Aleksandra?
Thank you so much. Well, I speak, okay, not many actually. I speak, of course, Polish, English, and I speak some Greek. I really love Greek, so it was always my hope to study, and I had a chance, and yeah, I'm very grateful for it. I have this. I like picking up different languages, but these languages sort of resonate within me. So it's not like every language, but for example, English is very precious to me. And the same with Greek. So I have to really love the language. And then I just...
Not many, Steve. What do you think of that? I don't speak many languages, only 3.
Well, yeah, she speaks a couple more than I do. Yeah.
It was easy to learn Polish.
Yeah, I suppose Polish would be for you. Yeah. I mean, I had enough trouble learning German when I lived in Germany, but you know, hey, but I've forgotten most of it now. It was that long ago, but you know. Yeah, and Terry, you're learning some German now, aren't you?
I'm doing German lessons. Yeah, I've been doing it for the past 6 months, but I've come to a bit of a halt. I've been learning the informal German language. I'm just starting now on the formal German language, but I'm no way anywhere near your sort of standard. For you to actually read a novel of that thick at a young age in a different language, that's hugely impressive.
Thank you so much. I just really enjoyed it, and I just have notes everywhere, and I've learned so many words. How are you enjoying studying German? Because I think that English and German have the same root, so it can be quite an interesting
It,
experience.
it is. Well, you know, I work in IT, and the IT language is more or less identical between German and English. You're exactly right. And a lot of phrases, and conversation-wise, it sort of sounds English, a lot of the things that people are saying.
Who would you say your favorite writer is from Victorian times, you know, with Victorian values, news? Well, yeah, who's your favorite? Or
Okay, so thank you so much. I have a huge respect for this person, Oscar Wilde. I don't know, Oscar Wilde, these are his complete illustrated works. And of course, my
wow.
other favorite authors are Wilkie Collins, the aforementioned Wilkie Collins, and Anthony Trollope, and this novel especially, Can You Forgive Her, and Charlotte Bronte. But I am enchanted by Oscar Wilde and by his literary vision of reality, by his persona. And I think I'm not the only one who was charmed by this writer. And what is interesting about Oscar Wilde is that he traveled from Ireland to this London society. He could describe these circles, social circles from within, whereas Trollope traveled from these circles into the heart of Ireland, and there he developed as a writer. So these authors somehow changed their places, they shifted their locations, and these amazing works came to life.
Okay.
Wow.
I'm just thinking about the Victorian sort of the writing period. It came during a time of massive transformation in English society, probably the most. During, we went through the world's first industrial revolution, and this Victorian time period between 1837 1901, that was at a time when people were moving into cities away from rural areas, and it was also a time when education became compulsory for English for the first time. The 1870 Education Act made it compulsory for primary school children from the ages of 5 to 12 to attend school, to be able to learn to read and write. And that coincided with the output of this great, big, vast output of literature.
Yes, I would say that in general, together with education, the notion of reading, learning, studying dramatically changed, especially when it comes to the reading process. Like it for the first time, I feel that reading became an integral part of society. Maybe this even brings us closer to modernity, because suddenly the novel was no longer something like a text rooted in a distant past, but the novel became this negotiator concerning the current era. So it was the first time when the novel and reading became an integral part of the society, actually discussing the problems that society faced. And it was wonderfully important for the development of the Victorian society, because usually when we would reach for the novels or for the texts from the previous times, eras, we would have a character who would be somehow distant, in a way that he would represent values or actions which we wouldn't say that were like, we wouldn't be able to somehow see ourselves in this figure, or the events that were described would be distant. But here the novel was rooted in the society, within society. And also what comes together with education during this period, with learning, with reading, was this new notion of lending books. It was quite new. It started in 1842. And of course, we had Charles Edward Moody and his circulating library. And to buy a book back then would be so costly, hardly anybody could afford it. So circulating libraries were very important in this development.
Yeah. So when you teach Victorian literature, how do you do it? Do you give books out and you talk about books, or do you just talk to your students, or is it done on a blackboard or via computers? I'm just trying to get a feel for how you would do it.
Of course, thank you so much. So how I'm doing it, how I'm teaching, for example, this semester, I'm very thankful that we are no longer doing it online, first of all, because this was a tragic period for literature. I mean, it was also beautiful to have the possibility to discuss writing, but it's nothing like being in the classroom. And how I do it, I just treat this class. I know that there are exams, I know that there are tests, that there is material, but I don't want to think about it in this sense. And I also tell my students not to think about it, like, don't think that you will write tests, that you have to just come and enjoy. So I sort of offer my students materials for the next meeting, and we have like a set of questions just to think about them. And everybody comes to the class with their own thoughts concerning the material. And I just tell them, you don't even have to love this text. You can love it, you can hate it. Just you are the future a literary specialist. So please come to our meeting as a critic, you know, as a literary critic, and we just sit together and I just sit with them and we have such a great time, especially this semester. We just discuss, talk, and everybody is allowed to say anything. It can be, because I don't believe that there are wrong answers. Like every time a reader opens a book, it becomes a different text. So I honestly, I never had the same class. Maybe I'm not teaching for a very long time, like a super long time, but I don't remember that I would ever have the same class, even if it's the same material, even if it's the same text. Every time somebody comes up with something so different, and it's brilliant. So that's how I want to do it. And of course, if my students, because after this break with online teaching, my students have this need to sort of be together and use the blackboard just to draw something or to write something. Of course, they can do it anytime, and I just want them to truly enjoy themselves. I just told them that, you know, in life, hardly ever you will have this possibility to simply sit down, meet, and discuss literature, because in life later you will see it will be different. So let's cherish the moment. Let's just meet here and enjoy. And tests, exams, this is a future, and it will be okay because you are. Yeah. So that's how we work together.
Yeah. It sounds so. I know Terry spoke to you before about Bunky and the Walms, but where are you up to on Bunky and the Walms? Are you up to part 2 now, I think? How's that going?
Thank you. So thank you. Yeah. So I'm working on part 2, and yes, it's a very mysterious part 2. Bunky, the Bunky Princess, and I are working on it together. And so far, Bunky has new summer clothes. Bunky Princess will also have her new summer outfit. And yes, this will be a part taking place during the warmer season. But what I can reveal is that Bunky will meet his friends, some friends from the previous, from the first volume, and he has quite an important task again, connected with the idea of, you know, how to accept our skills and our abilities, and how to come to terms with the fact that perhaps we cannot do one thing, which doesn't mean that we don't have another skill, which is equally vital and important. So this will be the major idea in the second part. And I hope that it will come together soon.
Brilliant.
Thank you so much.
Excellent.
Aleksandra, can I ask you about your following on social media? I think you're pretty much a new user onto it. You've only been on there, what, about 4 months? And the amount of followers that you've got, I've never seen anyone pick up so many followers so quickly.
Wow, that is impressive. I didn't realize it was only 4 months. That's good, yeah.
Thank you so much. I don't know either. I mean, but what I can say that this, I'm immensely grateful for that, because I was always afraid of social media, and now within these 4 months I discovered that I can actually connect with my fellow authors, with readers. They are real people, they are real authors, readers, my real friends, and they also have their own writing hopes and dreams, and they have their own literary worlds to share, and this became such a beautiful adventure. So I greatly appreciate it. The initial idea after publishing Bunky and the Walms was to travel, to simply just travel through different places, the United States, United Kingdom, and just appear with Bunky and the Walms here and there. But then, of course, the situation in the world proved that it's impossible. But I don't regret it, because I really discovered a beautiful community. And I am very thankful for that. I've learned a lot. I myself devoured so many books written by my fellow authors, and I know that I will cherish them forever. Like one day I will just have them there, and I will know exactly, like, this is my friend, this is the person who wrote this very beautiful book. It means the world to me. So it's fantastic.
Excellent. What advice would you give to other people who are starting out in a writing career? What would your advice to them be of the best way to go about it?
The best way to go about it. Thank you so much. I would say that they simply have to stay themselves. And maybe it's a bad advice, because I know that many authors would like to ask for advice during the writing process. They would ask the readers, what do you think about it? What do you think about that? What do you think about my character? And I would just, I mean, it's just my personal view, but it doesn't mean that others are not valid and important. But I would tell them, just don't ask anybody. just write it from your heart, because when you ask your readers, of course you value them, but then you give them something which was negotiated, and of course it's good, but if you want to write something which stemmed from your heart, and you want to share it with them so they can see the part of you in writing, then just do it. And of course I would also so advise writers to somehow believe in the story and surround themselves with the story, which doesn't mean that they have to become insane, but sort of I feel surrounded by my story, and Bunky is here with me. The Bunky, for instance, and honestly, this story is very precious to me. It gives me the sense of peace and happiness, and I think that's what really matters in the writing process.
Yeah. So, did you have some help off your publisher, and did you find a publisher helpful? Some people obviously self-publish, but you've got a publisher, Resource Publications, I think it is.
Yes.
Have they been helpful to you?
Thank you so much. Oh, it's been a wonderful journey. I am really, Whip and Stock and Resource Publication is like an imprint of Whip and Stock, and I have such a positive experience with all the wonderful team with whom I've been working on the publication during the editing process. When we were discussing how the book will look like, even now when we are all the time in touch and discussing everything, it's just beautiful how helpful they are, how supportive, and I am so grateful. Honestly, so grateful that they appreciate my work, my story, that they offer a chance to Bunky and the Walms. I heard some, in my opinion, terrible stories that I don't know if it's true, but some publishers supposedly look at the number of followers on social media before they agree whether to publish. So this is horrible. How can anybody do it? I mean, for example, when I started looking for a publisher, I didn't have any social media. And so I'm very appreciative, and I'm very thankful for that.
No. Yeah, you're lucky, I think. Is there any discussions about merchandise, about Bunky toys, getting into the toy shops, or or maybe an animated versions of Bunky?
Thanks so much. The animation version of Bunky is my dream. It's a huge dream.
I thought it might be, somehow.
Oh, thanks so much. Yes. So I imagine, especially these scenes when Bunky is traveling in the sledge with Rudolph the reindeer, and there are some really epic moments, like they are flying above the Milky Way, and they just cross paths with the Northern Star. This is so beautiful. I just imagine this. Yes, Bunky as well. Yes, thanks. He would love it. And the Bunky friends. And when it comes to mascots, we have them. We have mascots. They are available for. It's a pre-sale still, but soon, in a short time, we are going to start an official sale, but they are still there. They are on a pre-sale, so anybody can take Bunky home. And here I would like to thank a very talented Chris and Bess, who are helping me and who are cooperating. We are cooperating in this project, and I'm very thankful for their help. Without them, this dream wouldn't come true. And
excellent, yeah. So do you do book tours or signing events for your books? And that would be an ideal opportunity to take a character like Bunky along, an animated, character, wouldn't it? So do you do book signings? And
thank you so much. So the last time I did it was in winter in Lublin, in my city here. But because of the situation, I couldn't really go anywhere. And now we have spring, so I will just wait for all my idea with book signing until winter, autumn. However, I will have a new book coming, hopefully in the meantime soon, and then I am looking forward to this book signing event. I would definitely love to meet the readers, to meet authors, and I also hope that it will continue on social media as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Aleksandra, it looks like our time running out of 30 minutes has just disappeared. It's flown by, as it does when we're having a brilliant chat.
Thank you so much for having me.
No, Aleksandra, maybe one final question. Where is Bunky and the Walms? Where can people buy a copy of the book? Is it best going to your website or to the publisher's website?
Thank you so much. So I would like to invite the readers to reach for Bunky and the Walms in many different ways. It's possible through my website, aleksandratryniecka.com. Bunky and the Walms is also available on Amazon, on my publisher's website, whipfandstock.com, in Walmart, and in general in bookstores, in internet bookstores all around the world. So I would like to invite every reader to reach for Bunky and the Walms, and I'm very grateful for everyone who became the part of this literary world. And also I wanted to thank my fellow authors for sharing their words with me.
Excellent.
Brilliant.
Yeah, brilliant. I've seen your book on Amazon, but I wasn't sure where else it was, but yeah. So yeah, you seem to have it out in a few places. Great. Brilliant. That's great. Yeah.
Aleksandra, I'll put links at the end of this. I'll put links during the video and at the end of the video as well for people to connect with Bunky and with yourself.
Thank you so much.
But for now, can I say thank you again? It's been an absolutely delight chatting with you for the second time.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm always very happy to chat with you. And Bunky Princess are also very happy.
Oh, it's been brilliant. Thank you very much, Aleksandra. Yeah, and I'm really pleased to meet Bunky as well.
Thank you so much. And so is he, and we as well with the Bunky Princess.
Brilliant.
Okay, let's keep in touch as we have been doing, Aleksandra. And best wishes. Thanks for Bunky and the princess as well. But chatting to us again.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having us. I really appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Bye for now.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Press stop record.